This video will contain mentions of people taking their own lives, discussion around transphobia and misogyny, and showcase posts that some people may find offensive. If you are sensitive to any of this content and do not wish to proceed with the video, then this is your warning. And hopefully I will see you in the next one. Recently, a Twitter user by the name of Charlotte, username BurntFishie, sadly took her own life. She tweeted this image captioned, "It's a pretty view," and moments later she would post her final message to the internet, simply saying, "Long way down." This post has been viewed over 100 million times, amassing 100,000 likes and 20,000 retweets. So let me ask you, what do you think the totally normal people of social media did in this situation? If you guessed to be completely horrible, then you would sadly be correct. I've gathered some tweets and quote retweets to show you, and some of the replies as well, because I think that I don't even need to explain how sick all of this is. You really need to see it for yourself. But if you do wish to skip this section of the video, there is a timestamp on the screen right now. So someone with the name Dr. Cimmerian Pervert tweeted, "It's a pretty view, long way down." And they attached a photo of what I think is a golf course, and disturbingly, a lot of the people in the comments didn't actually get the reference. But in other tweets, like this one made by an account called Catholic Edits, they said the account BurntFishie recently killed misgendering off of this bridge titled "A Pretty View" followed by "A Long Way Down." Throughout the tweets, despite knowing that Charlotte was a trans woman, they continue to misgender her, despite seeming to take a stance of what someone is doing is wrong. Someone basically, it seemed, took a picture of Charlotte and threw it off of the bridge. And this account is theorizing that the group that this person is associated with on X actually had something to do with the death. For some reason, they're really trying to make it about the fact that there could have been foul play involved, while seeming to say that you shouldn't mock this individual who lost her life. But that doesn't really make sense, because at the same time, they are misgendering her. In a sense, that is mocking someone who is now no longer with us. In another post, a trans person says, "A trans girl kills a black transphobe, splendid." Now, obviously, I don't agree with that, and this person is literally a troll account in the first place, but someone quote tweeted saying, "Long way down." And this is one of my major concerns, right? That the death of Charlotte is going to be turned into something absolutely horrific. I mean, we're already seeing people using it as a way to essentially tell someone to themselves without the consequences, right? And you can see the dangerous precedent that that sets. Not only does it set a dangerous precedent, but it is inherently mocking someone who, like we've mentioned, is sadly no longer here. And of course all these people have, you know, like the cross or something like that in their name. You can say that you're religious all you want, but isn't one of God's messages to love everyone? Not gonna lie, but if you believe in it and you say this stuff, I'm not sure you're getting into heaven. Another person's tweeted, "They found the long way down spot, and right enough, someone has found the spot in which Charlotte took her life." And in the image, they've got a picture of one of those stupid soy jack memes, basically themselves. Because that's a totally normal thing to bring to someone's death spot, right? This is another video where another person takes a soy jack to the death spot, to the place where people have left flowers for the deceased girl, and someone's replied to the tweet with, "You be like Christian, but are actually horrible human beings." And this is so true, because I really don't understand how these people can call themselves religious and then spread as much hate as this. By the rules of their law, that is basically the devil's work. Another person who is part of the LGBT community, it would seem, tweeted, "Happy Pride, y'all," and they posted it with an LGBT figure and a trans flag over a heart that says "You are loved." Right enough, someone tweeted, "Nice view, long way down," with a skeleton burning in a fire. And of course, a lot of these people, like the person we just displayed, are the type of people to still make Holocaust jokes in the big year of 2025. Like, bro, leave that in 2017. It wasn't even funny in 2017, bro, so why are you trying to revive it now? Another person with the American flag in their name tweeted, "Long way down spot. It's not even really that high up. This slur cannot help but follow its instinct to lie about the nature of things, even in its final moments." And of course, he's retweeted something of someone saying, "This is the worst possible endorsement anyone could get," and it's someone from India saying, "India is with Elon, not with Trump." Great, bro. Great. So what's that now? Transphobia, Trump lover, and also India hater? Dude, Pick a struggle. Okay, so I've also found some of the most disturbing replies to the tweet because some of them are just sick. We've got Dr. Ted saying unfollowed for an activity, and for some reason he followed it up saying, I just want to say that nearly every trans mutual this kid had was encouraging. Hope you find peace, kiddo. F these people that did this to you. You can say F these people who did this to you all you want, right? But the fact is, you're probably one of the people encouraging hate that makes it so hard for trans people to live in this world. I would genuinely describe all of these posts as genuinely evil. In another post, someone said another transgender in the river, and disturbingly, this person is happily married. No offense, Mr. Vibrating, but I really hope you get a divorce. Another person tweeted another one joining the 41%, and this is an argument that a lot of transphobes use. The statistics, the percentages, right? But the fact is, like I've mentioned just there, they are directly responsible for a lot of these deaths. I genuinely believe, and you might call me hopeful for this, but I believe that if the world was a better and a safer place for trans people, with not as much hate as there is, then we wouldn't see as many people sadly taking their own lives. And the same goes for women, because like the statistics I used in my video on incels, there is a genuine concerning amount of women being killed by men each year. So the world is becoming more and more unsafe for not only women and trans people, but minorities as a whole. We've got Leo saying the people who enabled and encouraged trans kids should be held accountable for the horrors they've unleashed upon children. Utterly demonic. So by that logic, Leo, then people who are, mocking this innocent kid's death should also be held accountable, right? Right? But no, because that's where this guy's argument would likely fall apart, because he's muted the tweet. And if anything, we should hold the people who encourage trans kids to do things accountable. And those people are the people who basically force them into detransition. Transitioning has saved a lot of lives, including my own, right? And the problem isn't trans people. Let me tell you, a lot of the people here weren't forcefully transitioned like the right would have you believe, but rather it was a way for them to genuinely live the life that they need to live. I would describe it as saving lives, not taking them. It's not an easy thing to be trans, and I can tell you that no one would do it willingly, right? So that's where this entire point of they're forcefully transitioning our children falls apart, because it's just not feasible. Another person called John Atlas tweeted was/were, a pronoun joke in 2025, guys. But the problem is that they've basically been doubling down on the fact that they are transphobic, because they replied to another tweet again saying that trans people essentially groomed them into being trans and encouraged self as well. And don't get me wrong, the encouraging self part is completely horrible. I really hope that's not true. But it's not deflecting accountability like he says, because trans people didn't cause this. The hatred that is in the world caused this. And I have a lot of thoughts on that. We'll discuss that in the section after the video. So sorry if it sounds like I'm repeating myself. I just want to showcase some of these tweets because I really feel it's important. So my question is, do all of these people just forget that they have real names, real families, jobs, lives? Because realistically, there's people on the end of both screens. And I don't understand how these people can just walk around on social media posting whatever hatred they want without actually thinking of the consequences. Is it really worth risking ruining your entire life just to post your constant hate? Because in many countries, posts like this should and do break hate speech laws, and as it rightly should. But the problem is also that the internet turns real pain into spectacles. Not only this case, but take massive communities like SH Twitter, where there are genuinely some people who are encouraging others to themselves, or places like ED Twitter, where people are encouraging others to starve, not trying to solve the problem but rather reveling in it. And when tragedies like this become something that you just use for internet likes, we've got a real problem on our hands. And in my opinion, empathy becomes a thing of the past. And like I've said, people find it easier to be mean online because they feel disconnected from themselves when they're hidden behind a screen. It's almost like you have your real identity and then your online one. They feel that their actions shouldn't have repercussions, but that shouldn't be the case. Many people also treat platforms like X as their own personal diary, where they can just post whatever they want and they don't think about who is actually going to receive that message. But realistically, the person will see the cruelty. And it's just getting worse. I wish I could tell you it's getting better, but it's not. Because hate like this is now becoming normalised online. Even if someone who is spreading this hate would never do anything if they saw a trans or gay person in real life, it's still incredibly concerning that every passing day, social media is becoming incredibly unsafe for LGBT people, women, and minorities. At this point, I'd say that platforms like X are becoming genuinely unusable. And when you try to push back against the mob of people who do spread this hate, you are putting a massive target on yourself. And I have no doubt that I'm going to get bombarded with dislikes on this video and hate comments left, right and centre. If someone who is planning to do that is watching up to this point, then let me tell you, I've heard it all before. The amount of slurs I get called in my comment section that get deleted, I wouldn't even bother, okay? Because I can take it, but a lot of people can't. These people will attack anyone who dares to speak out against them, and that can prevent people from actually using their voice. And that's likely a reason why these people are so prominent nowadays, because they aren't being challenged on their disturbing beliefs. So let me raise a question to you. Are you okay with this becoming the norm? Because we are at that point. We are at the point where pure cruelty has become normalised on social media. And what does that say about where we are at in real life? Because if we think about it, the online world can genuinely have consequences in the real one. Look at the local election results in a county near me, for example. If you don't know, Reform UK are a right-wing party run by raging racist Nigel Farage. And disturbingly, they are becoming more prominent over the entirety of the UK. They recently finished in 3rd place in their first election in the Hamilton by-election with over 7,000 votes. They were only 80 votes away from the Scottish National Party, who have held that seat since 2011. This time the seat was taken over by Scottish Labour, but the problem is, people genuinely turned out in their masses and voted for a party with incredibly disturbing policies. It's built on hatred. Just the other day, one member of the party genuinely suggested banning the burqa. This got so heated that the Reform chairman actually left the party over it, but he did return 48 hours later because he's got no spine. But it shows a lot when they were only 700 votes away from the party that still holds major control in Scotland, despite these being the type of comments that they're making. People have genuinely forgotten about empathy. And I know it's cringe to say, but I'm going to say it. It costs nothing to be kind. It costs nothing to scroll a little more on social media to avoid spreading your hatred. Online behaviour, like the case that we've seen with Charlotte, can genuinely be a case of unregulated behaviour causing this. On platforms like X, for example, this hate is spreading like wildfire. It's becoming the home of horrible people, and realistically, the fraud that is Elon Musk is never going to step up and actually do something about it. He's made incredibly concerning tweets of his own. So we have to take genuine steps and, sadly, give that platform to them. The only way that we win this battle is if we don't participate in a platform that is inherently harmful. And this is a message to all of you. Put yourself in the shoes of victims like this and imagine how you would feel. I present that message to the people who have also participated in this hate, whether you did in the past or are still doing it now. Because for once in your life, think about the people on the other side. Think about the amount of harm that you typing a few buttons is actually causing. We need to close that disconnect. Charlotte was a person, and she deserves to be remembered the right way. I don't make a lot, but all of the money from this video will be donated to the Trevor Project, a prevention and intervention charity designed to help LGBT youth. This is a very personal topic and it's only right, but I know this is just a small gesture, but it is something that I can do. If you are currently struggling, then I have included links in the description that may be able to help you. I hope this video can at least help one of you, and if it is you, then then just know that you are loved by myself and everyone in my community. There are people who care, even if at times the internet makes it seem like no one does. Thank you very much for making it to the end of this video. Like, subscribe, share the video, do all of that good stuff if you did learn something new or did enjoy. Let me know in the comments your thoughts of everything that we have discussed today, and remember to join my new Discord server so that you can vote on future videos, channel ideas, or just join the general community discussion. Check me out on social media as well. I have Instagram and Blue Sky, and thank you so much to my Patreon supporters and YouTube members: Brooke, Entrepreneur, Morrigan, K4 Silver, Alex Rod, Basefinger, Carmilla, Tango Slime, Shoshka, Frozen Roses, Midnight Kitty, Willow, Sam, and Colette Tiki. I appreciate your support as always, guys. Thank you very much. I'll be back very soon with another video, but if you want another right now, then you should think that you like the video that's on your screen.